Hi everybody, this is Laura and Arnie with Crazy Cool Cakes. In this tutorial, we'll be showing you how to make our fabulous makeup cake toppers. Huh, sweetie?
Yes, indeedy.
We're going to start by making our beautiful compact. For this, you're going to need some black gum paste, and you're going to roll this out to about a ½ inch thick. Cut out a circle using a 2 1/4 inch circle cutter, and then smooth down the sharp edges. We're going to use the blunt end of our handheld blade to create a line all the way around the compact. You want to do this near the side that you've chosen to be the top. To create the little opening, insert your flattened tool in the line and gently press down, just like that. Under the compact, in the back, we're going to make a little hinge. Use your flat end and just gently press it in. For the compact color, we've chosen a nice light beige, and we're going to use a 1 3/4 inch circle cutter to cut out our circle. Add a little bit of glue to the back and place it on top of your compact. Nice color, sweetie.
Thank you, baby.
Next, we're going to make some blush, and you're basically going to do the same exact thing that you did for the compact. This is going to be a little bit thicker, about a ½ inch thick, and you're going to use a 1 3/4 inch circle cutter to cut it out. Follow all the same techniques as you did for the compact. So what color have you chosen for your blush, sweetie?
Well, at first I thought about a light rosé, but then I said, let's dazzle it up. Let's do a hot pink.
Great choice, sweetie. So now we're going to roll out our blush color, and we're going to use a 1 1/2 inch circle cutter to cut this out. Add a little bit of glue and place it right on top of your blush. Next, we'll be making an adorable little eyeshadow. For this, we're going to roll it out, again about a ½ inch thick, and we're going to use a 1 1/2 inch circle cutter to cut it out. Follow all the same exact techniques as you did for the compact and the blush. We're making our eyeshadow two-tone, so we're going to roll out a nice dark brown as well as a nice pale ivory, and we're going to use a 1 1/8 inch circle cutter to cut out a circle out of each color. Cut each one in half, and then you're simply going to add a little bit of glue to the back of each half and nicely center it on top of your little eyeshadow.
For those of you who like the smoky eye.
Like me. Next, we're going to make a mascara. For this, we're going to roll out our gum paste to about 4 1/4 inches in length. Then trim off the very end to give us a nice flat bottom. Near the pointy end, you want to use your blade tool to create a groove all the way around. We'll be fitting a little tiny thin worm of gray gum paste in this groove. Wrap it around the little groove and make a little mark, and then trim off the excess. We're going to give it a nice silver metallic shine using our silver highlighter dust. Just add a little bit of glue, and now you're going to place it into the groove and wrap it around carefully. And there we have our beautiful mascara. Let's make the lipstick lid. For this, roll out a little bit of black gum paste. Make sure one side is a little more pointy than the other, and you're going to trim it so that it's just about 1 1/2 long. To make the lipstick, you're going to roll out some black gum paste and try to roll it out just as wide as you did the lid, and you're going to trim it on both sides so that it's just about 1 inch long. For the little silver parts of our lipstick, we're going to roll out some gum paste, and we're going to use a number 10 tip to cut out a little tiny circle. Then we're going to use the same gray gum paste and roll out a thinner worm, a little bit thinner than the lipstick bottom, and you're going to cut this down to about 1 inch. Use your medium-sized ball tool to start making an indentation at the top of this piece, and then change to a larger ball tool to make it even larger. This is where the pink lipstick will go. We're rolling out our pink gum paste to about a ½ inch wide, and we're going to make sure that one of the ends is somewhat pointy. You can make your lipstick as long as you'd like, but ours is only going to stick out of our lipstick tube about 1 1/4 inches. We're trimming the very tip at an angle to give it that cute flat look. Now we're going to give these parts we just made a very cool silver metallic shine. To put our lipstick together, add a little bit of glue to the black base and place your little circle on top, then glue the larger piece on top of that. To hold it all together, we'll be inserting a toothpick and push it all the way in until only just a little bit is sticking out. Add a little bit of glue to the inside and slowly push the color onto the toothpick.
Yes.
I think this next piece is my hubby's favorite. Is it, sweetie?
You know it, sister.
To make the brush handle, we're going to roll out our gum paste to about 4 inches in length and then trim off the very end. Our brush also has a metallic piece, so we're going to roll out some gray gum paste slightly into a long teardrop shape. We want one end to be wider than the other. And then you're going to trim it down so that it's only about 1 1/4 inch in length. On the more narrow end of this piece, we'll be using our needle tool to create 2 lines that go all the way around. To make the bristles of our brush, we're going to roll out some white gum paste and we're going to roll it into a fat teardrop shape roughly 2 inches in length. Then cut off a little bit off the more narrow end. We're going to shape this piece by flattening it a little bit towards our table. We don't want it too flat. We want the ends of the bristles to be somewhat straight. Here we're nudging the two pieces together to make sure that the sides will be nice and flush. After giving our bristles a little trim, we'll be using our wheel tool to create fine lines throughout this entire piece. Now they look more like bristles. We also need to dust the middle part of our brush silver. The bristles of our brush are going to be two-tone. That's what makes them look so cool. So for this, we're going to be using our favorite non-toxic chalks, and we're using a black color, and we'll be dusting the entire surface, all but the last 1/4 inch of the widest point. To put it all together, we'll be trimming a toothpick in half, and we'll be inserting 1/2 blunt end into the black handle, and the other half blunt end into the wider end of the gray piece. Add a little bit of glue to the individual pieces and just put it all together. Pretty fun! We gotta have a nail polish, so for this we're gonna use some nice pink gum paste and we're gonna roll this into a nice long teardrop. This particular brand happens to have somewhat of a rectangular shaped bottle. So we're gonna semi-flatten it up against our tabletop, trim off the bottom, and then also trim off a little bit off the top. You can press the sides down towards your tabletop to make sure they're nice and straight. For the black lid of our nail polish, you want to roll out a piece of gum paste that's similar in size and in shape to the actual nail polish bottle. We're going to do the same thing, semi-flatten it towards your tabletop, and then you're going to trim off the wider end so that it's only about 1 inch in height. We want this lid to fit the shape of the bottle, so you also want to straighten the sides as well as the top. To put this together, we trim the end of a toothpick and we're going to insert it into the bottle blunt end in, add a little bit of glue, and then just simply press the lid on. Now those look cool, sweetie.
Thank you, baby. Now a little steam.
Now that these are dry, I can use black edible marker to add the logo to some of these pieces. These happen to be the MAC brand. Cute. Here's the nail polish and the lipstick. Here's our little eyeshadow and our compact. I'll be using silver airbrush color and a fine little brush for the pieces that have the logo written on the black parts. This is really not very hard to do at all. Pretty cool. Here's the lipstick lid and the brush. Here are our beautiful finished makeup cake toppers.
Excuse me, these are my finished cosmetics.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We hope you enjoyed this tutorial.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
Bye-bye, everybody. I'm still here, and so are you. Why not stick around a little bit longer and check out some more of our awesome tutorials? One of our latest is how to make our entire Mickey Mouse Clubhouse cake topper set. If you'd like to learn how to make it, click on the video on the left. And what could be more perfect for Valentine's Day than our Be Mine Valentine's Day cake? If you'd like to check out this video, click on the right. As you can see, we really love making fun and creative tutorials for our subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much. We'd love to invite you to visit our online shops where you'll find lots of PDF and video tutorials as well as our handmade merchandise. And last but not least, we would really love it if you could follow us on our social media. You can find all the links underneath our video.